Hi, I'm Craig. Most of you at one point or another have probably had some food that's been cooked using natural gas. Some of you may even use natural gas to heat your homes. But have you ever asked yourself where that natural gas comes from? Would you believe it could come from here too? The gassy truth coming up in just a minute. You know, we're probably violating about 1 million health codes right now. We're here with Art Tracy, professor in the Environmental and Plant Biology Department at Ohio University.
Well, hi, Craig. I'm using some ancient plant energy to make a cup of hot tea.
Looks like a regular stove to me, Art.
It is. It's a natural gas stove. Natural gas actually comes from plant matter that was buried underground millions of years ago. Turns out, if you bury plant material underground, bacteria and other microorganisms decompose that material into carbon dioxide and methane. And those gases are trapped underground in little pockets. We can come by millions of years later and drill into that ground, find those pockets or the reservoir. If we capture that natural gas, then we can bring it into our home, either to run a stove or to heat our homes.
So is that the only way we can get natural gas? Just drill around until we find some?
Well, you know, I'm glad you asked. It turns out we can make natural gas from plants and other material that are around us all the time. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Why don't you come with me?
All right. Well, this looks incredibly Wait, what is this?
Well, Craig, this is a biodigester. Now, it's just a small-scale experimental model, but in a biodigester, we can create methane gas.
So you're telling me you're making methane in this jug right here?
Absolutely. You take a fairly large container like this glass jar, you fill it up with water to drive out most of the oxygen, and then you add the secret ingredient, that's manure.
You've always got to find a way to bring poop into the mix, don't you?
I do what I can.
But why poop?
Animals eat plants, but they don't digest all the carbohydrates in their food. So sometimes the carbohydrates get left over in their waste. It means that animal waste is actually a rich source of undigested carbohydrates. So in this case, that animal waste, the manure, is being digested by bacteria. And in an oxygen-free environment, those bacteria are going to turn that waste into carbon dioxide and methane.
So the bubbling we're seeing in this jug, that's the methane gas?
Well, it's methane and carbon dioxide. We're really just watching fermentation. So you can think of it as bacteria being put to work.
So why is it so critical that there's no oxygen in there?
In the absence of oxygen, the bacteria that are going to survive are the ones that convert carbohydrates into methane and carbon dioxide. Now, if there was oxygen present, what we'd find is a different group of bacteria, and they'd convert the carbohydrates into carbon dioxide and water.
And you don't want that. You want methane.
That's exactly right, Craig. So in this biodigester, the methane bubbles up, goes through the neck of the bottle, comes along through the tube, and over here, we're storing it in this balloon. Now, can you light that candle for me, Craig?
I sure can.
I'm going to push gently on the balloon. It's going to make the gas come out of the end of this tube, and that gas is going to combine with oxygen in the room, and look at that.
That's the gas we were making? It looks exactly the same as the gas from the kitchen burner.
It is exactly the same.
Wow. Who would have thought you can make all this with a couple of tubes and some poop? It's a shame this thing isn't bigger. We could really produce a ton of gas.
Well, you know, this is just an experimental biodigester. These types of digesters actually do exist on a much larger scale.
Really?
Yeah, for example, the Quasar Energy Group has a really large-scale biodigester. It works pretty much the same as the biodigester we created in the lab.
Manure goes in one end, gas comes out the other?
Yeah, Craig. Except this digester not only breaks down manure, but also food waste, crop waste, grass clippings. It all gets broken down by bacteria in a giant tank. It's mixed with water to make a slurry and then pumped into another tank. And there, in the absence of oxygen, it produces methane.
A lot of methane.
Yeah.
A crap load of methane.
Okay.
See what I did there? I worked in crap into the...
Yeah, we get it, Craig.
When you cook with natural gas, you're actually using energy from the food web, regardless of whether that gas came from deep inside the ground or from a biodigester. It's decomposing plant matter that creates that natural gas. And that's a very delicious thing. This isn't what it looks like. Biodigestion. It may be down and dirty, but it's definitely science. I swear, this is chicken. Just don't tell the chickens that.